Mixties presents the Popcast.
Hi, my name is Brian, and this is Shane, and we are the Popcast. And today, we are talking about AGT Week 4 Recap and Review! Explosion!
Free more explosions, baby. Come on. Week 4, AGT. I got to tell you, man, I have a little bit more. My respect for Heidi has returned. My hate for Tyra has subsided to some degree.
Nope,
and the producers of AGT.
Nope.
The producers of AGT. Interrupting. What is it?
Sorry,
Interrupting
I'm sorry.
sheep. It's okay. No, I understand when you're frustrated about something, you just want to kind of get it out. But I want to say that this week especially, got a little more of that back. I mean, Tyra, by no means do I love Tyra. But there's a couple of points I have about that. But Heidi, on the other hand, did something this week that I was very happy with.
I definitely got a little more respect back for Heidi.
Okay.
And I gotta say, AGT, I know you're trying to walk that fine line, like a slowly introduce Tyra so that people like her, because she's not testing well with the focus groups. But week 1 was horrible. Week 2 and 3, tolerable. Last night, they definitely tried to push a little too much Tyra, man.
Well, they failed out the chutes. They didn't test like they should have to see how Tyra was going to work with audiences. And they failed because it was just Tyra overload. And then week 3, they drew it way back.
Yeah, way
but
back.
They did something in week 3. They're trying to humanize her. Have you noticed? They're trying to humanize her. She's talking all about her fake hair and her fake. I mean, they're trying to get her to make fun of herself, which is not something I think she's comfortable doing, and
No.
it's not working.
And last night, there was way too much Tyra, and she's wearing that like see-through outfit or whatever, and it's just real gaudy. And there was too many responses. Like, I don't know how many times I was trying to look at the act, and the camera kept cutting to her, and she's like, and one of her super forced reactions. It just completely takes you out of the moment. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, when Nick used to do that, it didn't really take away from the moment.
It added to it because he was feeling the way
Right.
you were feeling. But
Yes.
his reactions look genuine. Hers do not. They look fake.
Yeah.
And I want everybody to know
That's
here,
true.
I didn't come in with any preconceived notions of Tyra Banks. I didn't know her or care about her before. I don't know anything about her. I knew she was a model and she did some show somewhere. If you were like, what do you think about Tyra Banks? And I would literally have told you, I don't know. Whatever.
Well, see, that's interesting because I've seen some of her talk show, and I didn't like her talk show. So I did have a little bit of a preconceived notion,
Yeah.
Whereas I would watch Oprah Winfrey and enjoy that, or I would watch even some Ricky Lake and enjoy that. I did not like Tyra on her talk show.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about her. Supermodel. I never watched America's Next Top Model or whatever
Yeah.
it is. But you know what I think it is with Tyra? She comes across with this fake attitude. Maybe is that what it is? She kind of is like, yeah, this is the way it is, or kind of she does a head shake kind of thing, and it's just it doesn't feel right. So
I was introduced to Tyra from the internet meme, where I guess she was on her show or some show, and she comes out and she goes, "Penny party." That was like a GIF that I kept playing on on Twitter, like 2012. That was all I knew about her. I did have a slight preconception though, in hindsight, because I did like Nick Cannon. So changing him probably goes, who is this person? But that first week it was like a Tyra overload, man. I was like totally over it.
Yeah. I think they thought she would be received a lot better because I think her talk show was fairly successful.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a bigger crossover audience for America's Got Talent than there is for a daytime talk show.
Right.
So
yeah, more families.
More families for sure.
Well, let's get on to the good stuff.
Right. Yeah, you want to start out with? So I personally loved the show last night. I know last week we got a meh from me for the show. I really was like, they just felt kind of whatever. This week, I was really, really happy about this week.
The format
I felt like the acts were balanced.
Yeah, but the format was weird, right? They changed the format.
Well, they did what they were supposed to do. I don't know if they changed what the format they've been doing. You're talking about the golden buzzer?
Well, not just the golden buzzer, but sorry, turn my phone up, my sound off here. So we're gonna go through the acts, but let's just real quick. We opened up with an act, the normal way. There was no long intro for the judges. It was really quick. They opened into the act really quickly. They did the first act. They did a piece of the second act. Went like the very end of his act. Went straight to commercial. Came back into the middle of an act. No intro or anything. Basically showed him getting through. We saw very little of the act itself. And then went into another full act, right? Which was the 80s hairband rocker guy. And it seems like some of the acts that we wanted to see more of, they only showed you a small portion of it, and then like, okay, they're going through there. No intro, no hubbub, nothing. Just it was definitely more fast paced. And then the golden buzzer in the middle of the act. I don't know if I like that, and I don't know why Tyra. I'm not gonna talk about Tyra anymore.
Well, let's just say Nick got a golden buzzer.
Yeah.
So Nick got one. So I'm sure Tyra's going to have one. Okay, so you're right. Now that I think about it, now that you mentioned it, there was a little bit of a change to the way the show. There was no big major intro in the beginning, but they did do like the intro kind of towards the middle, where they went to a restaurant, it looked like a local drive-through restaurant, and picked up some people who worked there, threw them in Simon's car, his convertible, and drove back and did the hand thing, and then they brought him up with them. Did you see that part of it?
No.
Oh, that was hilarious, man. They actually went through a drive-through, and I got to tell you, that exchange where all the judges and Tyra were in the car, and they're driving down. I don't know where it was. I don't know where the heck they were, but they went to basically through a drive-through, and how he's doing his funny thing. But they're talking about interesting stuff, and Tyra's talking about how her hair is going to blow off completely, or Mel B was complaining that her hair was getting messed up, and Tyra's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. My hair is going to come off completely, right? And so then Howie's cracking a joke. So they pull through the drive-through, and basically they're like, hey, you guys want to come to AGT with us right now? Get in the car. Come on.
That's
and they
great.
jump out the window, get in the car with them in their uniforms, and then go back to the show. So you're right. There was a little breakup there.
Weird. I didn't know
that
part. Well, I wonder, you watched it on Hulu, right? I wonder if that was on TV.
I did, yeah.
Maybe I accidentally fast forward past it.
Maybe it was definitely on TV because it showed a lot of banter, and it was kind of a funny part. I guess a piece of the car seat came up, or a piece of the car.
Weird.
And Howie made a joke about the car coming off, and you shouldn't be worried about that. You should be worried about the car coming off, not worried about your hair.
Well,
so it was pretty funny.
That's cool. I must have fast forwarded past it by accident, because with AGT, it's like there's a lot of commercials, so I tend to fast forward too much.
That's true. Well, check this out. The golden buzzer. I just want to, because you mentioned it, I liked where the golden buzzer came in, because I feel like the golden buzzer is supposed to be a surprise or a hope. Like, I feel like the audience is going to be like, oh gosh, I hope they give him the golden buzzer. And if they give the golden buzzer at the end of every episode for what is supposed to be the best act, I just feel like that's contrived.
Sure.
Tyra coming out, it was more about Tyra than about the act. She was like coming out, she's making a big old face,
I know.
doing her little dance up there. Yeah. So it was more about her. She chose an act that I enjoyed tremendously.
Yes, the light show act was really amazing. I agree with you.
It should be.
I totally agree with you. I don't have a problem at all with the golden buzzer being, not random, but random for us, right?
Right.
That's good. I'm cool with that. I didn't like the way Tyra came out. She literally sucked the air out of the room. Like, like it was this amazing act just happened, and she was like, "Hey, buddy!" I'm like, "Oh my god!"
That's what she does. You're right, and it is irritating. It is.
All the attention's on me.
I'm gonna try to give Tyra just the rest of the season to do what she's got to do, because that's what's gonna happen. And if they just keep her down a little bit and don't, she doesn't need to be as visible as the judges, I don't think. But she's probably got a contract. She wants visibility. That's why she's there.
Yeah, it just everybody look at me. I'm gonna press the buzzer. Yeah. I don't know.
So she won't be back next year. I'm sure she won't be back next year if everybody else feels that way. And I haven't got a good beat on how other people feel about Tyra yet.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that'll come up at some point.
I hope we see Nick back. I miss Nick. Okay.
We'll see what happens. Want to go through the list?
Just go through the list, man. Okay. The first act. You can have the second act. Let me start with the first one, if that's okay.
Okay.
The choir group. I got to admit, really quickly.
Greater Works was their name.
Yeah, Greater Works. Cool name for a gospel choir. I wasn't a big fan of Greater Works. I also have some major thoughts on the logistics behind a group that size. 30 or so people. I don't know how they get them hotels and food and all the stuff that you would normally get for the shows, the live shows. And then even if they win, I don't think they're going to win, but if they win, like what Vegas hotel is going to pay 35 plus people, monthly salaries in a show? It's just not cost effective in any way for that size of a group, even if they had blown me away. Now, they weren't bad, that's for sure. Obviously, they got through, so they were good, and it was cool. But really, the main talent was those two people. Everybody behind them were just a bunch of background noise. And, on a personal note, actually on a business note between you and I with our podcast, how in the world did 35 people practice from across the globe over internet software?
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I need to call them up and figure out what software they have, because you and I have sync issues with two people over extremely high-speed internet using equipment that regular people don't even know about, and we still have sync issues. Yet you can practice in a choir? What software? I need to know what that software is. But aside from that, the logistics. I don't think
that the group is even on the show without the reborn Aretha Franklin lady who sang lead vocal for them.
Yeah, she was amazing.
She was great.
Yeah.
She could be on the show all by herself.
I think that's what
so I don't even know if there's an act without her.
It was reborn Aretha Franklin and her partner, the one that set it up. Those two are the talent. Everybody else was just background. A background. They could have put a picture of this choir there and sang, and it would have been the same thing. I'm glad they got through. That's cool. But I just can't stop thinking about the logistics. Maybe it's because in my day job, I'm an operations guy. And that's my job. Mm-hmm. I run operations for my day job, and I'm like constantly. I have a problem with like syncing up like 5 people, let alone 35 people and everything and all their needs.
That's tough.
So I don't think that they're gonna get through, because I think that even if they blow everybody away, some smaller, more cost-effective act from the business side of it is gonna easily take them over, because it's easier for the show, for Vegas, for anybody involved.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I liked. I thought personally that the show started out kind of weak. I was a little worried when Greater Works came out. I'm like, gospel. I like gospel acts that tend to play more towards current music. That's kind of fun when they gospel that up. And this one was it was honestly a little forgettable for me. So, but the second guy to come up, I actually really enjoyed J.J. Phillips. He was the guy who had the keyboard around his neck.
What?
Okay, and let me explain why I liked him. Now, I didn't like necessarily the performance. I actually didn't even care about his talent, to be honest with you. It was all about his demeanor. The whole time I'm sitting there going, my gosh, that's like almost like watching Garth from Wayne's World, right?
I guess,
kind of
yeah.
enjoy the whole personality of the character. And I got to be honest with you, it's tough to be able to play guitar chords on a keyboard.
Yeah.
So he obviously reprogrammed his keyboard to sound like a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of tough. I mean, he didn't sing, so that was kind of weak. So I don't think he has much of an act, but I enjoyed him on the show. I enjoyed his back and forth with the judges.
Okay.
I liked that. I liked that at the end, Simon's like, he could be on Wayne's World. And I was like, oh, see, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So it was kind of that reinforcement. I liked the character. He was likable, so he wasn't great. And I don't want every act to be great. I want to be able to go, I don't know if he should go through. I want to be able to argue with my family and my friends about whether or not it's important or whatever. But, Yeah.
Well, I definitely don't think he should have gone through. Was not a fan of his work. But, it's obviously it's subjective or whatever. But I didn't think he offered anything other than like a few small laughs at best,
Yeah. But it was better than just having another act that was pretty good that gets through. It was enjoyable to have a.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll give you that. Okay, the third act. I wish we'd done. You go ahead and introduce this one because this was your act.
Okay, so I thoroughly enjoyed Light Balance.
Is that what the name of the group was? Light Balance.
Light Balance. They did not get an intro.
No.
Like we talked about, they had a little intro backstage. You got to talk to them a little bit, so you knew they were from Ukraine. You knew they were Eastern European,
right?
And so, and I hate stereotyping things, and I hate that we as human beings tend to do that in our minds,
right?
But watching the act, you would never go, "Hey, there's a bunch of guys from Ukraine dancing, doing that light act."
Right? Yeah.
You just don't think that way, and so it was really super impressive. I loved the center character. It looked like it was an old man with a beard,
yeah,
or something.
Really
the way
cool.
they did the light. Loved the light changes. I liked how the music. I mean, I loved how they used that intro song, the timing of the music, and the way it popped out, and then they dropped the other singers. I was like, this is a cool. I mean, I've seen lots of these light shows. I've seen them in person, and I thought that was as good as any as I've seen.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I thought it was great. When they said they're from Ukraine, I was like, oh, interesting. Same way, The only talent that I've ever seen from Ukraine is, a Dota 2 player who's pretty famous. But most of Ukraine, I don't see that as being like technologically advanced or whatever. So our worldview just opened up a little bit. There's some super talented tech guys out there who can dance.
Well, and they're trying to get their families here. So I thought that was really, really touching that they want to be able to bring their family. Ukraine is a place that's in turmoil right now.
Right.
With Russia, saying, "Hey, look, Ukraine's part of us." So it makes it a lot. It makes it a lot more interesting, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I agree with that. And I'm glad they got the golden buzzer. That they weren't only worthy of it, okay?
Right.
But I can't wait to see what they do on the next audition. Because
it's going to be something totally different.
Right. Yeah, that's a Vegas show. If I've ever seen one, that's a Vegas show. Okay, so I get to put the next one through. The 18-year-old singer. What was his name?
Anthony Penzoso?
Yeah.
No. That wasn't the 18-year-old singer. Then that's not the next one. The next one, you really want the next one? The next one is the old 58-year-old attorney.
No, there was an act before him.
Which one?
There was an act before the 58-year-old attorney.
Okay.
And he was like a throwaway act. It literally came back from commercial. They showed the end of his set. They gave him 4 stars and moved him on.
No, man, that came at the end before Evie Claire.
No,
that was the one where you came back and he was the one who was singing about Father's Day, right? It was about fathers.
That was the 13-year-old singing about fathers.
Oh, that was 13. See, there's so many singers here.
There was
I'm drawing a blank on that one.
The format was weird because the act came back in like the middle of this guy's set, no intro, nothing, and they quickly.
What song did he
on.
sing?
I don't know. It wasn't special or memorable, and clearly we don't remember it. Let's just skip this. I'm gonna.
If you've got something on it, talk about it. But here's the thing: I don't remember an 18-year-old.
Yeah, it's an 18-year-old boy. He was really young.
Uh-huh.
He comes out and he's singing, and he's like a little sort of nervous afterwards, and they cheer him on.
Did he get a story? Do you have any story or any?
No, they gave him there was no story behind him. It was very quick. It was one of those quick. There's a couple quick ones where it just didn't do anything.
Well, because there was. Oh, you know what? Okay, I know what you're saying. He was a setup for Anthony Pinoso. See, sometimes they do that. They'll do that with the comics and the comedians that come out, and they'll show a guy who's pretty good, and you're not sure if the next guy's going to be good or bad. They were showing cutaways to the 58-year-old attorney, Anthony Pinoso, during that guy's set, that young guy's set. The young guy was supposed to not be special. He was supposed to just be a setup for the next guy. So you're thinking, oh, the next guy's going to have to be real good because this kid's just okay.
It's weird because that backfired for me anyways because the actual lawyer was so bad.
Well, right, but you remember a couple weeks ago when we had the comedian that came out and completely bombed?
Yes.
They kept showing snips of the comedian to come in the back. That's their way of showing you that somebody else. It's like they're tied to each other.
I see.
Yeah. So
well,
what did you think of that kid? I didn't. I remember thinking he's okay.
Meh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me get to the old lawyer guy, and
I got a lot to say about that one. So please.
So here's the problem. He is 58 years old. He doesn't look 58. I look older than he does somehow.
Oh really?
His wife was 25 years younger than him, according to him. Right. That would make her 33 years old. She has a head of white hair, man. How does that work out? How does she have white hair at 33 years old? My wife is 33 years old, and she still has so much hair that I can't walk into the bathroom without thinking that we just sheared a black sheep. You know, we know those big dog the things that you get the dog hair with. It looks like one of those big rollers, and it has a sticky roller. We have one of those in our bathroom for mopping up my wife's hair because she has so much hair at 33 years old that when she brushes her hair, I'm telling you, it's like shearing a sheep.
Well, that lady is the same age as your wife then, because she's 33, 25 years younger than him.
How in the world does she have white hair? So she must have dyed it white?
It's dyed white. Yeah, it's bleached. I mean, definitely. I mean, I don't know anybody who naturally has white hair. There's a few, I guess, blonde people who are super blonde, or maybe it's kind of whitish. But in order to get that color hair, you either have to be, old or you got to dye it.
Yeah. So I guess she dyed her hair to look older or something. But
maybe she's trying to stay up with him. Yeah. They
were selling the whole she's 25 years younger than me thing. He doesn't look like he's 58. He looks like he's younger. She looks like she's older. I don't know why he's there. He's a successful lawyer. He has money, according to them.
I can tell you my thought on that.
His music is horrible. It just smells fishy to me. That whole setup just sounded like, I don't know. What was your thought?
Okay, so I got a thing on it. I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna right now AGT. I'm gonna drop a dime on you right now.
Uh-oh.
Producers,
conspiracy theory.
Your number. I got your number.
Warning. So there's a picture right now to the left that has someone wearing a tinfoil hat. So I think that's about what you're gonna do.
Well, I don't think it's as crazy as you think. So you tell me what you think. You guys tell me what you think. So here's what I think happens. I think they show up like every other person who thinks, oh, I might be talented enough. I think I can sing. I show up with my person and my story, and when they hear that he's got a wife that's 25 years younger than him, and they're semi-serious about he thinks he might be a good singer, I think they pull him aside and say, I think we can turn this into something. The trick is, though, guys, you guys are going to have to really ham up the fact that you think that you're good. Hey, you're an average singer, you're okay, you're not going to make the show, but if you want to be on the show, we can turn it into an act. And I think that's what they do back there, because there's no way that this guy who is a bankruptcy attorney and does, there's no way he's that not in touch with reality,
oblivious
to be able to, and the way he reacted at the end of it, and his wife was like, yeah, she just kind of never was like disappointed in what they said. She just it just kind of carried on. And so usually there's some believability in these types of acts. I'm really glad this act was here because I am sick and tired of every act being really good. I missed having some bad acts. This guy was terrible. You knew it was going to be terrible as soon as he said, I'm not going to get a Grammy. This is going to be, you knew it was going to be bad.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad there was that.
It's like you pushed it up.
I think producers find some interesting stories, a 25-year marriage gap, a wife who's maybe a little too, I don't know what you want to call it, empathetic or supportive or whatever the heck was going on there, but it was kind of weird.
And she didn't sell it.
And I think they make that up.
When they were like, you think your husband's good? She goes, oh, yeah, he's good. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So
he's great.
Producers, you got to work harder on that.
And that look she gave when she was walking off stage, she, oh, yeah, he's good. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I love how he's like, you got a beautiful young lady there.
He's like, you got a beautiful young lady there, man.
That's so inappropriate.
Yeah. His look, too.
Oh,
you got a beautiful young lady there.
Man, you got a creepy looking face like that. Nice.
Okay.
All right, stop. You're freaking
next one.
So, okay.
Next one. It's all you. Go for it.
The Just Jerk Crew. The Just Jerk Crew. They were some South Korean Just Jerk Crew. They were a jerk crew, I guess. Jerk. I guess it's called jerking. We used to call it popping. What is that? Don't do that again. You're going to scare people.
That's what I saw when I saw this dance group. Just like, I don't know where the talent is, but I didn't see it, man.
Okay, so here's a few things. The guy said, we're going to show you something you've never seen before.
I've seen that. I've seen that in the
I've seen
awards.
Lots and lots of dance groups over the seasons in AGT that did the whole slow motion dance routine. Maybe there were some moves you've never seen before, but the overall, oh dude, yeah, you should go on AGT, bro. Next year you should audition. You should do it. You'll get on the show for sure.
It's like 93 degrees here. I'm getting delirious, dude. It's so hot in this office.
I'm sorry, and it's very warm here today. So I'll just keep going through it. So they're from South Korea. I was like, when they said this is going to be our last act together, I almost thought that was a little bit like trying to get some sympathy from the judges, because you have to do 2 years of mandatory service in South Korea Army.
And a few countries are that way, right? Israel's that way.
Italy's that way.
Italy, right.
Yeah, there are places like that. But here's the thing. You're in the States. You're not living in South Korea right now.
Right.
At least I don't think they were living in South Korea. If to qualify for the show, you need to be a resident of the United States, I believe.
Right.
So that seemed a little weird. And they didn't explain a whole lot about it. So of the dance crews this year so far, I liked it. I don't think it's going to win anything, but I enjoyed it. I thought they were going to break out in some karate or something. I thought they were going to dance with karate moves because of their outfits. I'm like,
they were like those what are they called? God, what are they called? I don't know.
Gis?
Gis. Yes, they're in gis.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that didn't work out. Anyways, we'll see them next time and see what happens.
All right.
What about the little Celine Dion girl?
Cute little kid, man.
Her name was Celine. Celine, and her kid sister's, their toddler sister's name is Dion. Is hilarious too.
Her parents really have to, they must really like Celine Dion, man. And I thought Simon's whole engagement there in the beginning when Mel B was asking questions, and he's like, "Of course it's Celine.
Yeah,
of course,
Celine. It's
Celine.
Celine.
What are you gonna sing today? Celine. Yeah.
And when the little girl was like, Celine Dion, obviously.
No, she was cute, man. It was
adorable.
She nailed the song pretty much. It was a little slow to me, a little slow.
There's a little bit of a problem here, though.
Okay.
What's she gonna do next time?
I'm pretty sure she's gonna do maybe another Celine Dion song.
Which Celine Dion song is as famous as that song?
She's got a couple, believe it or not.
Okay.
Celine Dion has a couple of really good songs.
Because that was
that one's
best.
that
was the best.
That was
best.
Well, that's the Titanic one. That's why everybody's like, okay, well, everybody knows that song.
Right.
But she's got a few other ones that I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll see if I can find some. But she's got a few really. I mean, she's sold a lot of records. Celine Dion, man. She's got her own show in Vegas, bro. She's like a major headliner.
I know. And what happens when this little girl goes to Vegas, and she's playing in the same hotel as Celine Dion? Kids don't really win.
And she's gonna be. She'll sing with Dion.
Wherever. I can't do it, man. The girl was talented. I hope that she has a follow-up song that is equally as good, because if she doesn't, then you can't do a worse act the second time than you did the first time. So. Right. That's the way it works. Okay, next one.
Moving on.
What, you want to introduce them?
Yeah, dude. I love this next one. This next one has Heidi's. This was my favorite act. I have never laughed so much on America's Got Talent. I have never laughed my butt off so much. I mean, I'm laughing. I was actually on the cross trainer while I was watching this. And I am literally laughing out loud, dying as I'm trying to cross. It's the men with pans.
Yes,
and
the naked chefs.
Just didn't see it coming. I thought they were going to do something where they cook and then maybe juggle or do some crazy thing with pans. And I'm like that. And in my mind, I was thinking that could be a pretty cool act if they do something like that. Oh, but no, they took it somewhere completely else.
I gotta say, I thought it was hilarious. It started off with me chuckling and then laughing and then out loud laughing, and then my wife waking up and saying, turn it down, just like that. And then I have to pause it, and I'm like, sorry, babe. And I turn it down, and then I rewind it, go back to where I was,
Watch it again. Oh, so fun.
And then I start laughing again, and she's like, shut, knock it off. I kept waking her up because it was funny. It was really funny, man.
Wait, here's my question for you. They got X'd by Mel and by Simon, and I don't want to generalize, but British people, what the heck?
What's happening right now?
You don't get that humor? I mean, Heidi's from Germany. She gets it. I'm telling you right now, that was absolutely the funniest thing I've seen. I can't believe that that man straddled that other man when they were doing the pan thing.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Oh my gosh, and the way they moved. Oh, I'm sorry. If you've seen it, you've obviously seen it. The movement of the pans was perfect. They had to choreograph to make sure nobody's goodies got shown.
A couple
they
times
kept doing a couple of button-ups.
It looks like a couple times the goodies still got shown though.
Yeah, I don't know how you're going to cover it with a pan. It wasn't even a large frying pan, man. It was like
when they were trying to cover it up, and he's like on his face, and he's trying to cover it with his face. That was really funny. I thought it was hilarious. I'm glad it went through. I do not know why Simon immediately X'd them. That just seemed. I don't know. I have no words. I know comedy is subjective, but like the majority of that audience were laughing their butts off. Everybody I've seen on Reddit were laughing. Everybody thought it was funny. Most people thought it was hilarious. Like,
the braveness of those two men.
Yeah.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Oh, and Tyra, like, acting like these guys have leprosy or whatever. Like that.
Oh, when she put her hands up, she's like, ah! And she ran away.
I'm a guy. Oh, God. Everything she does just constantly reminds me why she's not right for this show.
You do a great Tyra.
Oh, my God. Look at me. I'm hilarious.
You look like a T-Rex right now.
Tyra. Okay. Next.
Oh, the next one didn't get the love it should have gotten. That was one of those truncated performances. There were two of them tonight. They were like, why did you not show all of this?
It was truncated. Yeah, it was good. The Godfathers were good.
Wow, I've never seen that many people do a balancing act like that before. That was fantastic. That's something I've never seen.
If you're watching and you saw last week's show, I said on second week's show too, I said on the second week's show, I've seen a lot of boring hand balance nonsense that I just don't care for. They act like it's overly dangerous. They act like the stakes are deadly and everybody's gonna die, and it's just sort of like, okay, whatever. They have some cool techno music and they're balancing. I don't care. The second week they had that comedian with the blow-up doll that didn't get through, that should have gone through.
Right.
And that was an act where I was laughing my butt off, because if you watch AGT, you know these hand balance acts are really sort of full of themselves and they get way too much attention. So this guy doing the comedy bit was hilarious. The second week I was like, meh, didn't care. So I'm not a fan of these things. And then I see these Godfathers and there's like 4 guys and they're doing stuff and it's like really in sync and it requires all 4 of them. And it was so much talent to pull that off and to choreograph all that and so much physical prowess that I was really impressed, and I was mad that I wasn't able to see more of that. I hope that we will see more of it in the future.
Yeah, we just didn't get enough. They came in halfway into the routine, and I mean, I think the first thing I saw was them balancing. They're on each other's heads like a pyramid, and I'm like, how the heck do you do that? I mean, that's the first thing I thought, and then they're saying, "Oh my God, you guys are so amazing!" You know, it's my Mel B impersonation. Oh, so amazing!
Off the chain.
But you weren't good enough to show, because we needed a whole lot of a Robert De Niro lookalike.
Yeah.
Apparently, to take up a lot more time. That's why they must have cut some of the shows. So because they spent a lot of time on a couple of things that they shouldn't have.
So we're agreed. Godfather was great. I'm glad they went through. On to Robert De Niro real quick, because he was the next act. It was weird. I want to say it was interesting, because when he first came out, I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. This guy can clearly do impressions. I feel like if he would have immediately went in to Robert De Niro, reading bedtime stories in the character of his mob character, we would have all been laughing. He would have gotten 4 stars, would have gone through.
Yeah, you're right.
Instead, he opened up as Robert De Niro doing impressions of Robert De Niro's friends.
Wow, that was so bad. Yeah, I mean, and I got to tell you, he was shut the front door good, bro. When he walked in and you looked at him and his mannerisms and the way he looked, I mean, that looks like Robert De Niro in some pictures. I mean, just like him. And I was like, like I said, that was shut the front door good. You know, I was like, this is just going to be, I mean, I could see why they wanted to give so much attention to it. Lookalikes, you get them, but it's hard to get them that good, you know, and then for him to come out there and just ruin it. I mean, anybody who gives him even a shred of good advice would say, you can't do, you know, Jack Nicholson, John Travolta, and Christopher Walken looking like Robert De Niro. It doesn't make any sense. People get confused. I mean, amateurs know this. I mean, what the heck?
And I have the problem with this, because, like, why didn't he come out as Robert De Niro, talk to the judges as Robert De Niro, act everything Robert De Niro, do his Robert De Niro reads bedtime stories bit, get his 4 stars, and then next time come back as one of the other people he was doing, in character as them? Right. What if every single time it was a step up, where now he's like Jack Nicholson, hey everybody, and he's like, this is Jack Nicholson reading nursery rhymes, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Because I would watch. I would watch if there was an impressionist on YouTube that did characters reading nursery rhymes the way that person would, and their characters. I would sit there and watch it all day long and just laugh. You know? Yeah,
it's because he looks too much like Robert De Niro. So he knows that the thing that makes him magical is that he looks like this man. And so anybody realizes that that's not a show in itself. You can't just look like Robert De Niro and win America's Got Talent. So he tried to add some of his other talent, but no one gave him good advice, and he's not creative enough to, you know, he could have done something different with Robert De Niro every week if he wanted to.
I disagree a little bit, though, because to do Jack Nicholson, you put on a different colored wig and some glasses, and you go out there and do Jack Nicholson. It's not
right, but he looks so much like Robert De Niro naturally. He looks so much like him. I don't know if people can get out of their mind that he's Robert De Niro once you've set that in place.
I think if you had that blonde receding hairline and the Jack Nicholson glasses and his eyebrows up, you know, he would have totally been able to do it no problemo. Maybe the other one's not. Maybe not Mark Wahlberg or whatever, but I don't know. I think you're right.
Would you say Mark Wahlberg?
I think didn't he do Mark Wahlberg or something?
Christopher Walken.
Oh, Christopher Walken.
He did Christopher Walken.
No, he could have pulled off Christopher Walken too. A little bit of makeup, make him look pale.
Wait. I want you to do an impersonation. Go ahead.
A what? Of Christopher
Mark Wahlberg. No, Mark Wahlberg. Go ahead.
Mark Wahlberg. Hey, me and my brother. I can't do it, man. I can't do a Boston accent, bro.
Hey, we own a burger place, all right? Okay, good. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I immediately started thinking about Bane. I'm like, shoo, you think you're in charge here?
I gotta say, I like Donnie better than I like Mark. I actually like him more.
Charge here. Tyra Banks is in charge now.
Oh, Tyra, just stop.
Oh, I want to see a version of Tyra Banks. Tyra Bane has a. Oh. It's party time.
Oh, my hair is gonna fly off. My hair's fake.
Tyra Bane, yeah. It's Tyra Banks with a mask on doing Bane. Okay, we went way off the act. This is what this guy does.
I'm glad he didn't go through. I wanted him to go through until he started doing this thing, and I'm glad he got punished for making a mistake.
Okay, so we're on the same page there. Next act. I have a bone to pick with this act.
With Tom London?
Tom London, the tech musician.
Okay.
He comes out looking all cool and suave. He has a cool story. He's a program guy. And I think he made a mistake. He let everybody know immediately that he works in programming. He codes apps.
Yeah.
And then he comes out, and the first act he does is amazing. Everybody hold up your phones. Boom, they change colors. You're like, that's really cool. Then you go, wait a minute, this guy's an app coder. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you exactly how I did it right here on AGT. Well,
yeah.
Spoiler warning, people. Ready?
Well, yeah. Well, wait. So before you give it away, okay. Okay, no, give it away first.
Okay. There are 3 ways he did this. It requires no magic, and it's not very special. Number 1. A lot of those people were plants.
Okay.
That's simple. In fact, it would also explain how all those people got those random numbers up there. Okay. Number 2, if they were plants. Number 2, hey, install this cool app for the next act. They tell you that off screen, and then he just pushes the button and he controls all those screens. It's very simple. It's an easy little Wi-Fi app that allows you to modify things, or maybe when they run it, it just runs in a sync, and he knows it's not very hard. He's an app coder, right? But I have a feeling though they're actually not. I have a feeling that a lot of those people are plants. Number 3, and this is the worst one. Okay, this is the one that doesn't. It's not special, and it might actually be a criminal activity. Okay, that he piggybacked via a pineapple. A pineapple is actually this little router. Okay. And it sits between the Wi-Fi for AGT, right, and your phone. And any of the phones that were plugged into that building's Wi-Fi. And what do you do when you have a crappy data plan? Is you plug into the public Wi-Fi. A pineapple is this little $50 router that you program to sit between the public Wi-Fi and the phones closest to the stage.
Okay.
All right. It's called a pineapple. If any of you guys watch Silicon Valley, they just explained how this technology works. It's actually really simple. They connect to the public Wi-Fi, but what they're actually doing is they're connecting to the pineapple that's connected to the public Wi-Fi. The people that use the phones don't even know what's happening. And then he has a little app that just syncs their phones for that brief moment. You can literally hold a connection from that one little $50 router, that pineapple, for like 5-6 minutes. He was on there for less time.
Okay.
It's really simple to do if you actually know anything about how Wi-Fi works, and he's an app developer, so he knows exactly how to do it. The second he blew that lead and he explained what his background was, I wasn't even fascinated when he first if he wouldn't have explained that and he came out, I would have been like, oh, that's cool. Because as a nerd, I might know how to make that work. If you're like, hey, how do we make a bunch of phones in this immediate area do flash the same color? I would have to think about it for a minute, and then I'd come up with something. He has plenty of time to do it. So I wasn't very impressed with that. What makes me worse about the whole knowing the numbers things is I think that some of those people were plants. Because there were screens that were flashing different colors that weren't flashing the white color. Right?
It was red, white, and blue.
Right. If you look at the crowd, there's a bunch of red screens out there. And 3 of the members, and I had to look right opposite, were people that had the red screens and the other people that didn't have red screens. I didn't see all of them, but I'm assuming now that the people that came on stage were the red screen people.
But it didn't matter. It didn't matter who we brought up on stage. It was really kind of pointless. It's like when you're doing a card trick and you just do a bunch of stuff in the middle to kind of get you to the end. Because when he told Tyra to just punch in 9 random numbers, it didn't matter what they told him. That what happened was they controlled Tyra's phone. So however it happened, they were able to control Tyra's calculator. So I think this is just a huge hacking job.
The only pineapple thing gave the number too. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
but how do they know if Tyra's connected to Wi-Fi? I'm on the Verizon Anytime plan. You're on the Verizon Anytime plan. I don't know how much Wi-Fi you're.
Or did they hand her a phone?
It was Tyra's. No, it was Tyra's phone. Tyra, grab your cell phone. Unless it wasn't Tyra's phone and we don't know it. He said, Tyra, can you grab your phone and put on the calculator for me? So she did it, and then, but I don't know if you can hack into somebody's calculator.
Well,
I don't even know if that's possible.
You don't have to. Think about this. What if it's not a calculator? It's an app that no matter what you press, it has a predetermined response. So if I press 0, right, whatever I press, it's giving me the next response. He's saying type in a 2-digit number, followed by a 3-digit number, followed by a 4-digit number. When you get to the 4th digit and you press the enter button, times, plus, or minus, it just gives you the next variable. It's all pre-programmed. You know, have you ever used one of those pianos that you can press a song to play, and whatever key you press is the next note of the song, and you can slowly play through the song yourself without actually pressing the right keys?
I've never tried that. I've heard of it, though.
Yeah, I have a piano here for my kids. My kids think that they're actually wonderful piano players. Because they sit there and whatever key they press, it's playing the next note of the song, no matter what.
Gotcha.
It's just predetermined. So she might be pressing things, but the actual response given, I don't think that it's anything special. Well,
I would like to know
pineapples.
Go ahead. Okay, so there's a lot of variables there that when you do a magic trick, it's really hard if people aren't. I do know that it seemed like every phone that was in the air was either red, white, or blue. So when people put their phones up, and there was a lot of them up, they seemed to be either red, white, or blue based on what I saw. I could go back and look again to make sure. So I think that was real. And I don't think that you can guarantee that every one of those people are on Wi-Fi.
That's true.
So is there another way that they could take control of the phone in such a way so at least to be able to get them to flash a certain light?
Yeah.
I don't know. He used app developer.
Yeah.
That's his mistake, though.
There's something called Wi-Fi Direct. That can overrun your radio signal and force your phone into a diagnostic mode. And I
like what you said.
You could definitely do it with that.
I like what you said, though, about maybe the producers or they came out before this thing and said, okay, everybody download this app if you want to participate. I could see that happening. I could see them telling Tyra, hey, download this app or here, Tyra, use this phone. And when I ask for it, that could have all happened and we don't know about it because you don't know. They want the show to be as good as possible.
I mean, I did notice that Tyra Banks had an Android phone. She doesn't seem like an Android user to me.
Well, here's the other thing. How fast? I can't get to my calculator as fast as she did.
She got to it fast, yeah.
It was literally within seconds of him asking about it. So it's almost like it was already set there and she handed it to him. Even though she was like, oh, okay. And she seemed really confused. So I'm not exactly sure what to think of it, but I will say that if he had not talked about what he did for a living, if we had not gotten so much of a story it would have been a really cool act. Telling her to do a random 9 digits, all that tells me is that the answer is already provided and it doesn't matter what she does. He should have done something a little more specific. Don't say just pick 9 random numbers. It means whatever you do has nothing to do with the trick.
Now, did she pick 9 random numbers, or did the 3 participants or 4 participants give the numbers that she punched in?
So no, the participants gave the numbers initially. So they each gave a series of numbers. They guessed how many records the Spice Girls gold records they got. How many number ones Simon has signed or whatever it was. And so they guessed at those numbers. They were off. They put those numbers in. And it all would have been cool up till then, and it might have all been about math, except then he said, okay, Tyra, close your eyes and randomly choose 9 numbers and hit enter.
Yeah, and that's when the phone comes into play, where it's a planted phone, because no matter what she's typing, it's just giving you that number.
So I felt like it was easily explainable, what happened. It was predetermined.
If the camera would have shown the 9 numbers she selected, though, right? It didn't know.
No, it did not.
Okay, yeah. So that's how that was done. And it was probably, and the app thing was probably the way it was done before. Download this app if you want to participate.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that is.
It's really cool magic, and
yeah.
If we're ruining your joy of Tom London right now, just close your eyes and forget you heard all that stuff.
I tend to think that you're right, and I don't know about I would almost rather it be a cool, elaborate hacking thing where he uses a pineapple to connect between, because
cool.
At least that would be like, wow, this guy might not be a great musician, but he's a great tech guy.
He's a great hacker. Yeah. I'm worried about my phone now, man. Can anybody get into it?
Yeah, I should have downloaded the AGT app. Oh no.
Right.
All right, so that's where we're at. And next thing, real quick, quick note. Boy, do the judges hate clowns, right?
Wow, yeah.
Wow, their hate for clowns is extreme. I don't.
Yeah.
That one guy, they X'd him. He walked out, they X'd him, and he just turns around and walks back away sad. That was
hilarious.
I felt bad for him, dude. And he had the sad clown face.
Yeah.
He's like.
But it was so funny. I mean, it was kind of funny because Simon had been doing that to all of them. I mean, I would have actually liked to see that guy's routine, but they didn't show it. So. Yeah,
it's a bummer that they instantly just X the clowns. But I gotta say,
clowns are scary.
The clown magician, was it a magician? Or what was he?
No, he was a stunt man, like a clown danger stunt guy.
Whatever he was fun. He didn't take himself serious whatsoever, and he did something that when he climbed up that pole, I was like, I have no idea how he climbed up that pole. I thought the act was him climbing up the pole like Spider-Man, so quickly.
Yeah.
I would have been like,
No. You would have been like, so this is my pole, and if you look up there, you can kind of imagine me standing on top of it, because I'm never going to make it up there.
I'm never making it up the pole, let alone
never going to happen.
Standing on top of it while it's moving. That was impressive. And I was bummed out that they didn't get a 4-star. They had to convince him to let him through.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weak. I mean, I've seen a lot of acts that you thought were really dangerous, where we found out later they were wearing a cord. I think I even told you after we did a show last week or the week before, the one where the girl was on the pole. Mm-hmm. He was balancing on his head. She was actually wearing a clip to a thing, so if she had fallen, she would have been safe, and that's fine. But don't bill it as if it's dangerous if it's not.
Yeah.
And that guy was not wearing a harness.
No, he wasn't. I actually had to pause it and make sure he wasn't. And when they
37 feet, no harness.
Yeah, when they asked him if it was dangerous, he's like, well, splat.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I hate the fact that he had to convince them. What do you want me to do, man? I will shoot myself out of a cannon over a flying helicopter. I don't care.
Was that hilarious? That says so much about Simon, dude. He's like, no, I'm not changing my vote. No, and he's like, listen, I will shoot myself. He had to think about it. I'll shoot myself over a cannon, over a helicopter. And Simon's like, oh, he could possibly die from that. Yeah, that's going to get ratings. Yeah, yes, I will change my vote. I mean, you could almost see the thought process as he was calculating
if
this guy could possibly die here. Okay, well, let's give it a shot.
See, if he dies, we can always dedicate the show this season to him, and we'll get great ratings. The guy totally deserved to go, and the fact they didn't get it for what he did, it was not remotely fair, considering a chicken got 4 stars.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. A chicken, bro. And this guy had to convince him. And the counting dog. And this guy had to convince him that he'd get. Oh, come on.
Yeah, there were a couple times they had to be convinced. The guys with the pans had to be convincing.
Yeah. So next act was the piano player. What was his name?
Okay, was that really the next act?
Yeah.
Sorta, right? Didn't get an introduction? Is that the
No,
one you're
didn't
talking
get an
about?
introduction. Right.
Right. I feel like that act right there was the best singing performance of the night,
Right, but here's the problem, bro.
and we didn't get to see it.
He isn't disabled in any way. He has no bad.
He doesn't have a story.
He
doesn't have.
He
He's
didn't
not
fall
a
off an
9-year-old
airplane.
Celine Dion freak. You know,
Yeah, he's not 13 years old.
his song. He actually. What's really great about that guy? What's really great about that is they did the entire montage about dads and loving your dad to his song while he was singing on America's Got Talent. I don't know if you realize this or not, but that entire lead up to that, showing the girl who was going to sing last, everything up to that, it was his music that was the background, that was the bedrock of that piece. And then they go move into it, which is a great editing move, a cool stroke way to use to segue into it. But you have to stop for a second and think about it. If it was that good that they were able to use it as part of their show, then that kid is good.
Yeah.
And his singing was beautiful.
What I wrote here was great piano player / singer. Can't wait to see more. Unfortunately, he isn't disabled in any way. So he might go on, but he definitely won't win.
Oh, you're so bad.
Sorry. He's not missing any limbs. He didn't fall out of an airplane. He wasn't in a crash. He didn't have an aneurysm. He didn't have cancer. His story is not sad enough. I don't care how talented you are. This is America's Got Talent. You require a sad story. Okay?
Well, you got to have at least a little bit of talent, and you got to have a really good story.
Because you have to understand that America's Got Talent, there's hidden in the code. It's America's Got Talent Disabled Edition. That's what this season is. This is quote unquote special America's Got Talent. It's the special version of America's Got Talent. It's the disabled America's Got Talent. I don't know what to tell you, but everybody has a story. I'm fat and ugly. No one likes me. I was in a plane crash. I'm 13-year-old and I have one kidney. My father has colon cancer and he's gonna die tomorrow. Whatever it is, it's super sad. It's something that makes me go, I feel so bad for this person. I hope they go through it, whether they're talented or not. And most of the time, they're like talented enough, nothing fantastic per se, but good enough, and they get through. Yeah. But it's the story that makes them like, oh, this person deserves a golden buzzer because she survived a brain cancer and a tumor in the same year when her entire family died in a burning building.
Yeah, they should change the name of the show. The show should actually be called America's Got Just Enough Talent. But a great story.
And a whole lot of tears.
And a whole lot. I got to tell you, when Evie Claire came out and she started crying, man, I totally teared up too. I was like, the thought that, this is cancer to the 4th degree. That's not
the little girl, right?
The one who sang last, Evie Claire.
Yeah, and her voice is great, and
she's gonna lose her dad.
I felt so sad, and I thought I have 2 little girls, and I thought, what would I do in that same situation? And kudos to that amazing father. Oh,
right.
He's
still working.
I'm working through it, man.
He's not feeling sorry for himself.
Taking care of my family. If my kids had colon cancer, I would work up until the day I died to make sure they had something. And he's an amazing father, and it made me tear up thinking about my dad. Father's Day just passed. It was great. I'm not taking away from that story, but
great story.
If you compare her talent to the guy before her, who had a voice that I would buy that album in a heartbeat. Amazing piano player, amazing singer.
You're right.
Her talent isn't comparable. Her story, on the other hand, is worthy of a Lifetime movie, right?
Yeah.
So
that's true.
That's the problem, though. There's a problem with that because, well, I loved hearing these stories and they rip my heart out and they make me emotional, and I feel so sorry for that family, and then also proud of seeing a real father, you know, a father that would die for his children, being praised, being lifted up on a pedestal and being given a platform to share his story. Like, that's amazing. You know, we don't do that enough in America. We don't put the good dads on a platform anymore because it's funnier. It's funnier for a TV show to have a stupid fat dad who can't figure out how to make guacamole himself, and with a bunch of kids
By the way,
mock him. Then the show
it's hard to make guacamole.
Father. Yeah, it is.
It's hard to make.
But
guacamole.
a lot of TV shows nowadays are like the Kevin James TV shows. It's a pretty, spicy mama who's real smart and working as a nurse, and the stupid unemployed dad who gets yelled at by his kids, and everybody laughs, and it's a funny sitcom, and that's great. We're not lifting up fathers anymore. And for AGT, with the platform they have to show a real father who is in the middle of stage 4 colon cancer, and he's still working for his family and taking care of them. Woo! Love it. I'm so happy they
fantastic.
did that. But she's not as talented as the last guy was.
No, she's not. She's talented, though. I mean, she could go on. She could participate in this show. Absolutely. I don't think she should have not gone forward. But she definitely, and I'm glad, and so I'm glad for that reason she didn't get the golden buzzer. And I'm pretty sure that the producers said, we can't. I mean, I don't know how much impact they have, whether they talk about the golden buzzer in advance or whether it's actually legitimately given to people. But if they would have given the golden buzzer at the end of the show, I think it would have just been not good for the show. So
right, and you couldn't give it to the guy before her after she comes out. You know, now right. I know why it was the third act. You know, because they brought the house down with that story, right? You know, and
right.
And the song made it even sadder. So I'm really happy they showed a father in that light, though. A strong father working for his family, taking care of his kids. Really, really happy. But I really, really hope that we see more of the previous act, because his voice was, to quote Mel B, off the chain, right? It was really good.
Right.
It was so
good.
unique,
really
man. It was so unique, and I want to hear more of it, and they gave us a tiny little interlude. I ain't get enough.
Yeah, I feel like it was as good as the original. So I'm definitely.
I'd never heard the original.
More of that guy. Yeah, it's one of those songs that came out a while ago.
Gotcha. Well, that was the end. You know, that was the end of the act. This week was great. I laughed. I saw some good stuff. I teared up a little bit. It was a good week 4. I mean, now back to being reinvigorated and excited for week 5. If I had to sum it up really quick, while the acts were amazing, I did not like the way it was edited. I do like the fact the golden buzzer was not the end. I don't like how much Tyra we got. There was too much there.
Okay.
But I do like the judges seemingly putting their heads on straight when it came to voting for people. Aside from the weird disdain for clowns, that seemed wrong to me.
That was kind of weird. So who's left with a golden buzzer? There's one left, right? 4 have been used.
4 have been used. Yeah, I think Heidi still has one, right? No, Howie.
Is it Heidi?
I think it's Heidi. Yeah, Mel B had one. Because if Mel B had one, then last week when she was like going to town for that one guy, then she would have used it then. So she must have already used it.
Okay, so gosh, we should know this, and apologize for not knowing. But I think Howie used his because he asked the guy, if you could have anything right now, what would it be? And he said to get the golden buzzer. So Howie used his. And
Simon used his day one.
Simon used his. So it's either Mel or I think Mel used hers. I think you're right. I think it's Heidi.
Yeah, because the reason I'm saying it must not be Mel is because she was up there like pleading with them for that one guy with the weird pumpkin guy, right?
Right.
She could have just hit the button and called it a day. All right, man. That's it for the show. I hope you had as much fun as we did. Listen, if you disagree with us, please let us know in the comments below. We will answer you. We will talk to you. We'll have a conversation. We enjoy it. If you agree with us, same as before, comment below. Let us know what we could do better for the show. And subscribe. Match that subscribe button. Share it with your friends. You know, there's not a whole lot of America's Got Talent recap and review shows out there, especially not long form. So we hope that you can share it with the other fans of AGT and let them know that we exist. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. We're doing Transformers First Night review coming out tomorrow, and we're super excited to give you our opinions on that movie.
Yeah, I'm praying. Got my fingers crossed. It's going to be good.
I can't say anything. I can't say anything about it yet. I'm gonna wait till the review tomorrow. Look at that poker face, stone face right here.
I haven't seen it, so I'm waiting to see. I'm not gonna say either, but I'm hoping it's gonna be good. Got my fingers crossed it's gonna be good.
Yeah, my fingers crossed it's gonna be good.
Okay, fair enough.
The universe does let us down though from time to time. Okay, man.
Okay, let's see where that came from.
I'll see you tomorrow, Shane, and we'll see you guys tomorrow
too.
For the Transformers review. And we love you, and thank you for watching.
See you next time.
See you next time.